Morning. Today I would like to talk about triangle pose before we start our flow. I really love triangle, but um, it's a tricky one because there's some things about it that are a little bit confusing. To come into triangle pose, your feet are going to be about the same as warrior two. I usually like to come into triangle pose from warrior two. So in warrior two, you've got your feet perpendicular to each other. The front toes are pointing straight forward, the back toes straight towards the long end of the mat. And then you straighten out your front knee and scoot that back foot just a little bit closer to the front foot so that you're shortening your stance just a little bit. At that point, you want to send your hips toward the back of the mat, stretch that right arm forward, and lengthen the spine. Take a deep breath in while you're stretching the spine. And as you breathe out, you make a quarter turn down with the arms. You can adjust your feet here as needed. You can use a block underneath that front hand here on either side of the leg is fine. You want your hands to be perpendicular to the floor at this point. And you can imagine that your body is between two walls in front of you and behind you that are very close together. So you want to keep your whole body in a single plane here. Now the biggest most most common mistake I see in triangle pose is that people are so intent on getting their torso to be parallel to the ground here that they let this back lower hip start to fold forward towards the floor, because as the hip folds, you can come closer to the ground. But it's much more important to keep that hip in line with the body than it is to get your torso down super far. So you want to just imagine that your sides are still in line with the legs here, and lower down as much as you can while really keeping that hip open towards the side wall. The arms come perpendicular to the floor, but of course, if this upper hand ever starts to lose circulation, start to feel tingly, like your blood isn't going back up there, you can drop that hand down during triangle pose so that it stops feeling that way. And the gaze can be down towards the ground, or if it feels okay on the neck, you can start to bring the gaze up, looking up towards the ceiling. And that is how you come into triangle pose. To come out, you want to bend the front knee first and then start to lift up the torso, raising back up into warrior two. So we'll do that today during our flow. And let's get started on our backs today. Coming into Shavasana, you can have your legs out straight. Bring the soles of the feet together, opening out the knees wide to the sides. Bring your knees up, pointing towards the sky, and open up the feet and let the knees fall in towards each other. Or you can just have your legs in easy pose. Anywhere that's really comfortable is fine. Lift your heart up and pull the shoulders down the back a bit more. Bring the chin into the chest and rock your head side to side. Make sure you don't have any kinks in your neck. You can have your hands by your sides, palms facing up or down, or bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Settle into your mat. Wiggle around a little bit. Make sure everything is super comfortable. Close your eyes and start to call attention to the breath. Begin to deepen and lengthen each breath. Feel your chest rising and falling as you breathe in and out. Feel your lungs expanding, filling up with fresh, clean air on each inhale, and emptying out all the way with each exhale. start to find your yoga breath, the Ujjayi breath. If you're not feeling too stuffed up today, I know it's allergy season, so I've been having a little bit of trouble breathing in and out of the nose. And of course, you always want to breathe in and out of your mouth if that's an issue for you today. But if you're feeling clear in the nose, you can close your lips and just breathe in and out of the nose. And listen for your breath in the back of the throat, like the ocean moving in and out. Let the sound of your breath fill your mind completely, clearing away all other thoughts, letting go of anything that happened earlier today or any plans you may have for later. And let your breath fill the mind, bringing you fully present into this moment, here and now, between the four corners of your mat. Notice all the points of contact your body is making with the earth. And then notice all the places where you're not touching the ground. Little pocket, maybe at the base of the spine, lower back, maybe your wrists or the palms of your hands, back of the neck. Bring your awareness to your skin. The skin is so important because it is the boundary between the self and the rest of the world. That's where your self begins. Let's do our body scan from the crown of the head. Work your awareness through your facial muscles, softening the brow. Notice how your jaw is feeling today. Sometimes we can clench our teeth in the middle of the night and wake up with some tension in the jaw. Move down through the back of the neck, across the shoulders, down the arms, into the elbows, wrists, and fingers. Moving down the spine, into the hips, and through the legs, knees, ankles, and toes. As you go along, just make a mental note of anything that feels off today, any sore spots. Maybe you went for a long bike ride and you've got a twinge in your knee. Maybe you slept funny and your neck feels a little weird today. Being aware of all of those little spots can help you as you go through your practice, so you can be extra careful of those places that are feeling off today. Remember that you can always take a break in child's pose on your back or belly, or you can modify any pose in a way that's right for you, just making this practice your own. Take a few more deep, full breaths here, just being inside of your body. Blink your eyes open. Stretch your legs out. Stretch your arms up above your head. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, draw your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your legs, and lift your forehead up to your knees, squeezing everything together. One more time, just like that. Stretch your arms and legs out really long. Big good morning stretch. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, curling into a little ball. Draw your knees up to your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Lift your forehead up to your knees and squeeze everything tight. Release your head back down to the mat. Bring your hands to your kneecaps. Do some circles with the knees. You can move your knees in the same direction as each other or in opposite directions. Feel a nice massage against the ground on your lower back. And now find some circles going the other way. Release your arms out wide in a T. Float your legs in a tabletop, 90 degrees at the knees and hips. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, dropping the knees down together to the right, all the way to the floor. Try to keep the 90-degree angle in the knees and hips. Right fingertips can tuck inside the crease of the left knee to help the legs stay down. And bring the gaze over to the left hand to complete your twist. Release your right hand back out to the side. Lift your knees up to center, breathing in. Exhale, dropping the knees down towards the left, all the way to the ground, trying to keep that 90-degree angle in the knees and hips. Left fingertips can tuck inside the crease of the right knee to help the legs stay down. And bring the gaze over to the right hand. Release your left hand back out to the side. Lift your knees up to center, breathing in. Exhale, dropping them down towards the right. This time, don't touch the ground. Back up to center, breathing in. Exhale, reaching down towards the left. Keep them up above the ground. Keep going like that a few more times with the breath. Inhaling, lifting up to center. Exhaling, dropping the knees down towards the ground without touching. We're just warming up the core here. One more time on each side. Make sure you do both sides evenly. Come back up to center, breathing in. Tuck your fingers inside the creases of both knees. And rock and roll back and forth along the spine a few times. And make your way up to a seat into easy pose. If it's accessible to you, try to open up your feet and your knees so that both knees are touching the ground. Inhale, lifting the hands up overhead. Exhale, folding over the feet, keeping the spine really long. Stretch your fingertips out. Find your edge, round out through the back, and relax your forehead down towards the ground. On your next inhale, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest. Float your hands all the way up overhead. Interlace your fingers and then turn your hands so that your palms are facing up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, stretching down towards the right. Back to center, breathing in. And exhale, stretching down towards the left. A couple more times with the breath, inhaling to center. Exhaling down to one side. Just going at your own pace. With the breath, let your breath be your guide. Come back to center on a breath in. Exhale, release your hands down. Bring your hands to your lap. Do some gentle circles with the neck. You can imagine that you're leading the circles with the crown of the head or with the chin. Sometimes it feels a little different if you switch it up. And find circles going the other way. These can be big or little, faster or slower, whatever feels right inside of your neck. Bring your head back up to center. Reach down and switch your legs. Whichever leg's in the front, push it to the back. Back leg comes out in front. One more time over the feet. Inhale, hands up high. Exhale, folding forward, hinging from the hips. Walk your fingertips out. Find your edge, round out through the back, and relax your forehead down towards the ground. On your next breath in, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest. Float your hands all the way up overhead. Exhale, twisting around to the right. Bring one hand in front of you and one hand behind you. Come back to center, hands come up overhead. Big breath in. Exhale, twisting around to the left. One hand comes in front of you, one behind. One more time, just like that. Inhale, up to center, hands come up. Exhale, twisting around to the right. One hand in front, one hand behind. Back to center as you breathe in. And twisting around to the left as you breathe out. Come back up to center. Big breath in. Hands come up. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Make your way to hands and knees tabletop. You can roll over your knees or swing the legs around to one side. And then adjust so that your knees come right below the hips. Wrists come right below the shoulders. Start to move through cat-cow, always going with the breath at your own pace. As you breathe in, tilt the pelvis up, drop the belly down, roll the shoulders back, bring your gaze up or forward. Exhale, pushing the back up towards the ceiling, one vertebrae at a time. Relax your head and neck down and bring your gaze through your knees. Keep moving just like that. Warming up the spine and the belly. This should be a constant movement here. Just going with your breath at your own pace. Come back to a neutral spine and bring your knees together to touch. Send the right foot straight out behind you like you're stamping it into a wall. That's enough. You can stay right there. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can lift your left arm up, stretch your fingers out in front of you. Take a big breath in, stretching really long. Exhale, release the hand and knee back down to the mat. Switching sides, lift your left foot up, push through the foot like you're stamping your foot into a wall behind you. That's enough. Stay right there. If you want more, right arm comes up as well. Stretch your arm and leg out really long. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, releasing back down to the mat. Keep going like that a couple more times on each side. Inhaling to lift the opposite arm and leg. Exhale, releasing back down to the mat. Again, just going with your breath here at your own pace. Inhale, lifting the left leg and the right arm. Exhale, dropping them back down to the mat. One more time on each side. Make sure you do both sides evenly. Make your way back to hands and knees tabletop and then come into downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under, lift the hips up. You can move around here a little bit, settle in. If it's your first down dog of the day like me, you might still feel a little bit cool here. Muscles might be a little stiff. We're still warming up. You can bend one knee towards the ground and then the other. Just start to get the blood flowing through the legs and the hips. Check in on your shoulders. Make sure the shoulders are moving down the back towards the hips, out of the ears. Notice how your hands are feeling, making sure you're pushing down through the pads at the ends of each of the fingers and the curve at the bottom of the palm. You can have a slight micro bend in your knuckles, gripping the mat with your hands. Head and neck are really relaxed, just dangling down towards the ground. Three sun salutations, moving with the breath. Bend your knees, look forward to your hands. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hop or step right between your hands. Forward fold. Half lift to breathe in, bringing the torso parallel to the ground. Forward fold as you breathe out. Relax the upper body down. Inhale, rising up to standing. Bend your knees. Roll the spine up, letting your arms and head dangle down. And then float your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch. Inhale, lifting the hands up overhead. Interlace the fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down towards the right. Back to center, breathing in. Into the left as you breathe out. Inhale to center. Standing back bend on your exhale, cactus the arms. You can have a slight bend in the knees here. Straight back up, breathing in. Exhale, forward fold, hinging from the hips, keeping the spine really long as you go down. Half lift, breathing in. Bring your hands to shins, float them over the ground. Exhale, double dip chaturanga. Plant your hands, hop or step back to your high plank. Lower down halfway, keeping your elbows right next to the ribs. Back up to breathe in. Exhale, halfway down again. Don't go below your elbows. Inhale to up dog or cobra if your legs are all the way on the ground. Keep your elbows bent. Exhale, tuck the toes under, lift the hips up to downward facing dog. Second sun salutation, we're going to start our side stretch to the left first. Bend your knees, look to your hands, take a big breath in. Exhale, hop or step to the front of the mat, forward fold. Half lift as you breathe in. Forward fold, breathing out. Inhale to standing, bend knees, stack the vertebrae one at a time. Head comes up last and then float your hands overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch to the left first. Inhale, hands up. Interlace the fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down to the left. Up to center, breathing in. And to the right as you breathe out. Straight up to center, inhale. Standing back bend, exhale. Real gentle with the neck here. Come back up straight as you breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Stay really strong in the legs, going down. Half lift to breathe in. Exhale, double dip, chaturanga. Try to bring the soles of the feet parallel to the wall behind you as you're lowering down. Inhale, push the chest through the shoulders, up dog or cobra. Exhale, roll over the toes, lift the hips up to downward facing dog. Inhale, come all the way up onto your tippy toes. As you breathe out, send your heels all the way over to the right. Hips can lean a bit to the right. Maybe you feel a stretch here on the left side of the body. Come back up to center, tippy toes. Big breath in. Exhale, sending the heels all the way over towards the left. Hips can lean a bit to the left. Maybe you feel that stretch on the right side of the body. Back to center, tippy toes. Deep breath in. Exhale, pushing the heels down towards the mat. They never need to touch, just reaching in that direction. Feel that nice stretch on the back of the legs. One last sun salutation, just straight up and down this time, no side stretch. Bend your knees, look forward to the hands, take a big breath in. Exhale, up to the front of the mat, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. Do you breathe out? Rising up to standing on an inhale, bending the knees, rolling up the spine, float your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Straight back down. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, forward fold, hinging from the hips, leading with the chest. Take your time going down. Half lift to breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out however you like it. You can drop your knees down to the mat if you like. Up dog or cobra on a breath in. And downward facing dog as you breathe out. Drop the knees down to the mat and bring the knees together to touch. Once again, send your right foot out behind you like you're stamping it into a wall. If that's enough, stay right there. If you want a bit more of a challenge, lift your left arm up as well, stretching the fingers straight out in front of you. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, come into a little crunch. Bring your elbow to your knee. 4 more times with the breath. Inhaling, lengthening the arm and the leg. Exhale, elbow to knee. 3, just go with your breath. 2, and last one. Inhale, stretching the arm and leg out really long. Exhale, drop your left hand back down to the ground. Tuck your toes under. Inhale, lifting the right leg high. 3-legged dog. Open up the hip. Bend the knee back. You can bend and straighten that right leg a couple times. And let's come into wild thing. If you don't want to try wild thing, meet us in down dog. Roll onto the pinky toe side of the left foot. Drop the right foot down off the mat behind you. Straightening out the left leg. Turn your hips open towards the sky. Let the right arm come arcing overhead. Head and neck are just dangling down. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, rolling back over to your three-legged dog. Send your right heel high. Take a big breath in. And step the foot through between the hands as you breathe out. Rising up on an inhale, make your way to warrior one. Back foot's down at about a 45-degree angle. Front toes pointing straight forward. Front knee bent right over the front ankle. Hands are up, pinkies turned in. Keep those shoulders sliding down the back. Make sure that back pinky toe edge is really glued down to the mat, and the left hip is pushing forward. Hips are squared off as close as you can come towards that short end of the mat. Pyramid pose. Straighten out the front knee. Open out the arms wide to the sides. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, hinging forward from the hips, keeping the spine really long. Lower down till your torso comes parallel to the ground. And drop your gaze down to the big toe. Feel your arms stretching out really long in either direction. Crown of the head stretching forward. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, release your hands down, framing the front foot. Here's a chance to use those blocks if you've got them underneath your hands at any height is fine. Or just plant your hands on the mat on either side of the front foot and relax your head and neck down over your front knee. The front knee in pyramid pose is traditionally straight, but if that's not accessible to you, that's okay. You can gently bend and straighten the front knee. Just notice how it feels as you push the knee back towards straight. Just working our way there. Revolve triangle pose. Plant your left hand on the mat or on a block right next to the right foot. All weight comes to the left hand. Inhale, lift the right arm high. Opening up the chest toward the side. Stretch the right fingers up to the sky. Try to bring your arms perpendicular to the floor or just reaching in that direction. Gaze can be down towards the floor, out to the side, or up towards your upper hand. And don't forget to breathe. Take one last big breath in here. Exhale, release your right hand back down to the ground. Bend your front knee, rise back up to warrior one, breathing in. Open out to warrior two as you breathe out. Pivot the back foot around. Send your arms straight out in either direction. Check down at your feet. Front heel can intersect the back heel or the back arch. Arms are straight out. Check on the back hand, making sure it's nice and high. And then bring the gaze right over the front middle finger. 5 yoga jumping jacks, moving with the breath. Inhale, knee straight, arms up overhead. Exhale, slowly sinking back down to warrior two. 4 more, just going at your own pace. Letting your breath be your guide. Again, we're in constant motion here. 3. Taking the whole inhale, the whole exhale to complete each movement. 2. And last one. Coming into triangle pose. Straighten out the front knee. Maybe you want to scoot that back foot just a little bit closer to the front foot. Peek down, make sure your feet are still perpendicular. Front heel's intersecting the back heel or the back arch. Send your hips toward the back of the mat. Stretch the right arm forward, lengthening the spine. Take a deep breath in. Exhale into your quarter turn, making the quarter turn with the arms. Notice how your back hip is feeling here. Make sure it's not folding down towards the ground. Keep it really in line with the body. You can find that block here underneath your right hand if you like on either side of the leg. And then maybe you can bring the gaze up towards the upper hand. If that doesn't feel so good, you can keep it down at the ground or out towards the side. On your next inhale, bend your front knee, rise back up to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheeling the hands down, frame the front foot. Send your right heel high as you breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. You can keep the right foot up or drop it down. Drop the knees down to the mat if you like. Up, dog or cobra, breathing in. Downward facing dog as you breathe out. Let's take a little rest here. Before we do that on the other side, make your way to child's pose. Drop the knees down, untuck the toes. Push your hips back to your heels. Relax your forehead down towards the ground. Let your elbows come to rest on the mat. If you like, you can wrap your hands back towards your feet with your palms facing up. Close your eyes and reconnect with the breath. Sometimes when we take a little break in our yoga flow, it's nice to do another little mini body scan, just checking in head to toe, noticing how your body is feeling, the temperature. Notice if you feel warmer, cooler, how your breath is moving through the body. Notice anything that might be sore here from the movements that we just did. Let everything settle just for a moment. Come into puppy pose. Start to crawl the fingertips forward, lifting the hips up. They can come right above the knees or just behind. Then reach your chin or chest down towards the mat. Feel a nice gentle back bend here. On your next breath in, bring your hands back. Lift up your chest to hands and knees tabletop. And bring the knees together to touch. Send the left foot straight out behind you like you're stamping it into a wall. If that's enough, you can stay right there. If you want a little bit more, right arm can reach up as well. Fingers stretching out in front of you. Take a big breath in. Exhale, coming into your little crunch, elbow to knee. 4 more times with the breath. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. 3, 2, and last one. Inhale, sending your arm and leg out really long. Exhale, drop the right hand back down to the ground. Tuck the toes under. Inhale, lifting your left foot up. Open up the hip. Bend the knee back. Bend and straighten that left leg a couple times. And come into wild thing or meet us in down dog. Roll onto the pinky toe edge of the right foot. Drop the left foot off the mat behind you. Straightening out the right leg. Open up the hips toward the ceiling. Let your left arm come arcing overhead. Head and neck are just dangling down. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, rolling back over to your three-legged dog. Send your left heel high to breathe in. Exhale, step the foot through between the hands and rise up on an inhale to warrior one. Back foot's down at a 45-degree angle. Front toes pointing straight towards the short end of the mat. Front knee right over the ankle. Hips squared off towards the mirror. Pinkies are turned in, keeping the shoulders sliding down the back. pyramid pose. Straighten out the front knee. Open out the arms wide to the sides. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, folding forward, hinging from the hips. Keeping the spine really long. Stop when your torso comes parallel to the ground and drop your gaze down to your big toe. Keep those arms stretching out in either direction, crown of the head stretching straight forward. And check back in with your back foot. Make sure that pinky toe edge is still glued down to the mat. Take one more breath in here. Exhale, release your hands down. Again, you can find blocks under your hands or just plant your hands on either side of the front foot. Relax your head and neck down over your front knee. And notice how that front knee feels. You can have your knee perfectly straight, or you can play with the bend. Just gently bending and straightening the front knee, moving in and out of the pose. Noticing how the back of the leg feels as you push the knee back towards straight. Revolve triangle. Plant the right hand right next to the left foot on the mat or on a block. All weight comes to the right hand. Inhale, lifting the left arm high. Opening up the chest toward the side wall, stretching the left fingers up to the sky. Arms are reaching towards perpendicular with the ground, but if that's not accessible to you, that's okay. Again, here, if that upper arm ever starts to get tingly, you can always bring it down. You don't want to lose circulation in the arms. Sometimes that happens even to the best of us. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, release your left hand back down to the ground. Bend your front knee, rise back up to warrior one. Breathing in. Open out to warrior two. As you breathe out, pivot your back foot around, widen the stance a little bit. Stretch your arms straight out in either direction. Make sure your spine is stretching straight up towards the sky, not leaning over that front leg there. Front knee right over the ankle still. Peek on the back hand, bringing it nice and high. And then bring the gaze over the front middle finger. 5 yoga jumping jacks with the breath. Inhale, knee straight, arms up overhead. Exhale, slowly sinking back down to warrior two. 4 more, going at your own pace. I'm just counting so you know where I am. 3, 2, and last one. Triangle pose, straighten out the front knee. Bring that back foot a little bit forward, making sure the feet are still perpendicular. Send your hips back, stretch the left arm forward, take a deep breath in, lengthen the spine. Exhale, making the quarter turn with the arms. Imagine that you're between two walls that are very close together. Gaze can come up towards the upper hand or stay down at the ground or out towards the side. And you can have a block here underneath your left hand or just rest that left hand against the left leg. Don't forget to breathe. On your next inhale, bend your front knee, rise back up to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheeling the hands down, frame the front foot. Send your left heel high as you breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Keep your foot up, drop it down, drop the knees down, whatever's right for you. Up, dog or cobra, breathing in, drop your foot down. Exhale to downward facing dog. Again, a little break. Make your way to child's pose. If child's pose is not comfortable for you, you're always welcome to rest in a different position. On your back, your belly, or in a seat. Wherever you are, take a moment, close your eyes. Try to stretch the breath out here. If it's helpful, you can find your mountain breath. Counting your breaths, just try to add one count to each inhale. On your next inhale, lift your chest up to hands and knees, tabletop. Exhale, tucking the toes under, lift the hips up to downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look to your hands, take a big breath in. Exhale, hop or step right between the hands, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Inhale to standing, bending the knees, unrolling the spine nice. So hands float up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Let's do some balancing poses here. Adjust your clothing as needed. Sometimes it gets a little wrinkly while we're going through all those movements. Starting with eagle pose, we'll begin by coming into chair pose. You can have your big toes touching with some space between the heels, or have your feet kind of on two different train tracks. Inhale, lifting the hands up. Exhale, sitting back into the chair. Push your hips down and back. Wiggle your toes. Make sure most of the weight's in the heels. Bring your hands to heart center to set up for the legs. I'm going to mirror you here, so I'll be doing the opposite side. Bring all weight to your right leg, lifting your left foot up. Cross the left leg over the right so that your left thigh is right on top of the right thigh. And then try to tuck your left toes towards the back of the right leg. They might not get very far in that direction. That's okay. You can stay here, or you can include the arms if you like. Left arm comes underneath the right. Twist your arms around and match up your palms. And then try to lift your arms up so that you bring your elbows about parallel with the shoulders. Straighten up the spine. Feel the crown of the head stretching up towards the sky. And don't forget to breathe. Bounce the gaze off the forearms. On your next inhale, unwind, lifting your knee high, arms up overhead. Exhale, set your foot down, hands together in front of the heart. Wiggle it out. Let's come into ragdoll before we try that on the other side. Feet come hip width distance apart. Inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, folding forward, hinging from the hips. Nice long spine going down. Relax your head and neck and grab for opposite elbows. Gently rock side to side. You can bend one knee and then the other. Imagine that your spine is water falling down towards the ground. Before we unwind, notice how your arms are crossed so you can cross them the opposite way the next time we come in. Release your hands down to the mat. Weight comes to the fingers. Heel to the feet back together again. Bend your knees. Inhale, rising up to standing nice and slow. Hands float up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Eagle pose on the other side. Again, you can come in with the big toes touching and some space between the heels, or bring your feet on two different train tracks. Inhale, hands up high. Exhale, sitting back into the chair, pushing the hips down and back. Wiggle the toes, make sure the weight's in the heels. Bring your hands to heart center. This time, bring all weight to your left foot. Lift your right leg up. Cross the right leg over the left. Right thigh is right on top of the left, and tuck those toes towards the back of the left leg. If this is enough, you can stay right here. If you want to include the arms, right arm comes underneath the left. Wrap your arms around. Bring your palms together. Lift up the arms so that your elbows come parallel with the shoulders, and bounce the gaze off the forearms. Stretch the spine up really long, sitting up straight and tall. On your next inhale, unwind, knee high, arms up overhead. Exhale, setting the foot down, hands together in front of the heart. Back into ragdoll. Heel toe your feet out, hip width distance apart. Inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, diving forward, nice long spine going down. Relax your head and neck. Grab for opposite elbows, making sure to cross your arms the awkward way. And gently rock side to side. Bending one knee and then the other. Imagine you can feel all the kinks falling right out of your spine through the top of the head into the ground. Release your hands back down to the ground. Weight comes to the fingers to heel toe the feet back together again. Take a half lift in. Exhale, double dip chaturanga. Up dog or cobra, breathing in. Downward facing dog as you breathe out. Drop your knees down to the mat and make your way to a seat. Send your legs out long in front of you, coming into staff pose here. Hands come on either side of the hips. Rock side to side just a little bit, tucking your thumbs underneath you. Push down through the palms, lifting up on the spine, straightening out the spine. Feel the crown of the head stretching up towards the sky. Push your knees down to the mat, but make sure that you don't push them down so much that you're lifting the heels up. Heels need to be resting on the mat still. Flex the toes, bringing the toes toward the face. The whole body is really active here. Try to keep everything else exactly where it is. Release just your hands. Inhale, lifting your hands up overhead. Exhale, folding forward, reaching for the feet, hinging from the hips. Find your edge, round out through the back. Relax your head and neck down towards your legs. You can plant your hands on your legs or on either side of the legs, or maybe you can reach all the way around the bottoms of the feet. One thing I really like to do sometimes in seated forward fold is to lengthen the spine, breathing in. And then exhale, relaxing back down again. Inhale, lengthening the spine, lifting up the head and the neck. And exhale, relaxing back down again. Sometimes I feel like I can get even further. Every time I do that, I go down just a little bit further in my fold. On your next inhale, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest. Bring your hands behind you, fingers pointing towards the hips, and then bring your knees up, pointing towards the sky, and gently windshield wiper the knees side to side, releasing the hips. And then come all the way down onto your back. Bridge pose. We're going to hold our bridge pose this time. Plant your hands flat on the mat so that your middle fingers are just touching the backs of the heels. Or if your feet are too close to do that, you can bring your hands on the sides of the feet. Inhale, rooting down through the feet, lifting the hips up, pushing the hips up towards the sky. Once you get up, you can interlace your hands underneath your back and then start to scoot the shoulders closer together to lift even higher. Stay really strong in the legs, pushing the belly up, stretching it out. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, lower back down to the mat, one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. Draw your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lifting the forehead up to the knees, curling into a little ball. Squeeze everything together. Release your head back down to the mat. Keeping your right knee up to your chest, let your left leg slide back down to its spot on the mat. And then open out the right knee towards the right. Right fingers can tuck inside the crease of the knee to help it stay down. Bring the left arm out to the side and bring the gaze over to the left hand. On your next breath in, lift your right knee up to center. Exhale, crossing it over the body, drop it down towards the left. Left fingers can tuck inside the crease of the knee to help it stay down. Right arm comes out to the side. Bring the gaze over to the right hand. Release your left hand back out to the side. Bring your right knee back into your chest. Left knee comes to join it. And once again, wrap your arms around your legs. Take a big breath in. Exhale, forehead comes up to the knees, curling into a tight little ball, squeezing everything together. Really release your head back down to the mat. Keeping the left knee into the chest, let your right leg slide back down to its spot on the mat. And then open out the left knee towards the left. Left fingers tuck inside the crease of the knee to help it stay down. Right arm comes out to the side, gaze comes to the right hand. On your next breath in, lift your left knee up to center. Exhale, crossing it over the body, drop it down towards the right. Right fingers can tuck inside the crease of the knee to help it stay down. Left arm comes out to the side, bring the gaze to the left hand. Release your right hand back out to the side. Lift your left knee back into your chest. Right knee comes to join it last time. Wrap your arms around your legs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lifting the forehead up to the knees, curling into a little ball, squeezing everything tight. And then release to Shavasana, our final resting posture. Adjust your clothes as needed. Make sure you're nice and comfortable. Lift your heart up, pull the shoulders down the back, bring the chin into the chest, rock the head side to side. Notice if there's any tension in any of your muscles and just let it melt right out of you into the ground. Release your body. Everything should be really relaxed here. Release your breath. Find your way back to natural breathing. And release your mind. Just watching your thoughts come and go like clouds in the sky on a windy day. Find a few moments of stillness to complete your practice today. Blink your eyes open. Start to make your way back up to a seat. Thank you so much for joining me today for yoga. Namaste. I hope you have a great day today and stay healthy. Get some exercise outdoors, go on a walk or something. I've been biking. My knees hurt a little bit, but it feels really good to get out and stay away from people. And if you need a mask, I started making masks. So you're welcome to message me. I'm happy to make them for anyone who needs them to go outside. I feel like it's really important to protect our society in general. So if we can all wear a mask, that would be better. Just let me know in the comments. Take care and be healthy, friends.